Good morning, crafters, and welcome. So today we are going to go over this bundle called the Suncoast bundle. It is 16 stamps. It is 12 amazing dies. Now I'm going to start with the dies first. When I get my bundles, I put them both into one plastic sleeve. Now I have not put these on magnetics backings yet. When I went to that big box store and got all my plants last weekend, I forgot to get my magnetic vent covers. So I'll be getting those mounted fairly soon. But let's go through the dies first. I'm going to use mostly crisp cantaloupe and an old favorite of mine that I kept a lot of stock of. I bought a lot before this in color went out, and this was sugar plum. Oh, I can't remember what it is. Sweet sugar plum? I don't remember. Anyway, let's get out my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, and let's go ahead and get my plates from over here on the side. Oops, they're right by the microphone, so I hope that wasn't too loud. So we have plate 1, our thin die adapter 2, and I have 2 of my 3 plates, which I think I'm about ready to switch out. I have a couple pairs of new ones, but until they start not working, I guess I don't really worry about what they look like. All right, I'm going to put in this sweet sugar plum. Is that what it was called? I don't know. I'd have to go look at. I keep all my old stamp pads over there, so it's over there somewhere. So let's grab out just a couple of these. I'm not going to do the more intricate ones at the same time because I'm afraid that they will lose some of their detail. So I am going to go ahead and do a bunch of these. So it looks like we'll let you know what they are when they come out, but I'm going to do a lot of these simple shape ones. That's a lot to go through your machine at once, but it can handle it. Don't worry. Just go a little bit slower, and as long as you don't chunk out at the end, you can come backwards because they haven't moved. All right, so let's see what we have here. All right, where's my little magnet? Get a lot of those magnets up there. Oh, and those just a little bit stuck. Those are our fence pieces. Yeah, they're fences. Let me just make sure. Doesn't look like there's any papers left there. We have this beautiful thing, which if I cut right, oh, I think I need to go through again, or maybe use a little bit of a shim. I don't know, because these pieces are not coming out very easily. That's the problem with doing one like this. If you put too much in there, it takes away from that detail. So let's go through what we already have out, and then let me get those out. Let me run this through again. All right, so we have a couple, I would assume these are like parts of a sailboat. I haven't even really looked at this set yet. I just got it and haven't had time to play with it. You know, life and other fun distractions get in the way. So here we have, this is definitely, so, and I need to punch them out, but those are definitely fence pieces. See if I get those little pieces out from there. This is like a cave. That can be your sun. your clouds. And like I said, these are your little fence pieces. Let me get those little pieces out of there. Might have to cut those through again. But then here would be your fence. All right, let me look at that die to try to figure out. Oh, they look like they're sailboats. And that would make sense. You have this here. That would make sense. But they look like sailboats. I will do some more research before we put stuff together on Sunday. But yeah, now looking at them, they definitely look like they're sailboats. All right, let me go ahead and bring this one through again without all those other pieces attached to it. And we'll go back and forth. If it still looks like it hasn't cut all the way through, then we'll have the die facing up. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna do die up just because there's a lot of cut pieces in that area. And I find that going die up sometimes helps with some of those little pressure points where everything's meeting. So now let's look. See, now they're falling out much better. Just taking a couple extra seconds when you're die cutting will help a lot with your frustration of having to pull it out. Now you could save all these little pieces too and make an opposite sunray. I am getting better and not keeping every single scrap of paper I have. So here you have that. All right. Much better than pulling at that forever. All right, so now we have, what do we have here? 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. We said that all together there were 12, so we have 4 left. We have those scenes coming up. And some starfish, it looks like, and birds. All right, so let's go ahead and do the birds. Ouch. Wait, do I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? There's 8 on there, and this says it's 12, so there should only be 4 left, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. I'll have to look to see if they said if there was a, if the packaging was printed incorrectly. Oh my gosh. And this is why I don't like leaving them on the tape. That tape is super strong, and I don't like how, I mean, I like how strong it is, don't get me wrong, but I much prefer pulling them off once and dealing with the magnets. All right, I'm gonna leave the 2 big circles for later, so let's get this like little seaweed or meshy background here. Now this one we're probably gonna have to do a couple times too, just so you know. All right, and let's see how that came out. So there you have your shells. There you have your birds. Oops, drop one of the shells over there. Oh, those birds are really small. You have do you have 3 birds? Yep. Here's the last one. All right, so you have the 2 birds flying. You can see that on here too. And then the one with the wings. Like that. So there's your birds. Here's your seashells. And what's nice about these seashells is that they do have those little texture on them. Let me see if I bring my finger up, if it comes into focus. There you go. You see the little extra detail on those? All right, let me get this over here. Don't want to take that one yet. All right, this one, you're gonna have a lot of messes, just saying. But this is like the coolest little mesh. And I suppose if you wanted to keep all these, you could use these for a shaker card. Again, I'm getting a little bit beyond that. But you could get like an old medicine bottle and just keep a bunch of those different colors in your medicine bottle. All right, so then we only have the two left, the two circles. I'm going to be cutting these out. Because it's a lighthouse and a sailboat. These I'm actually going to cut out of this beautiful designer series paper, which is called Scenic Coast, and is part of the suite. I didn't get the full suite. I got the bundle and the paper. So I didn't get like the ribbon or embellishments or folder that goes along with it. So let's try this. Ooh, I just dropped one on the floor. All right, so let's do the lighthouse with this one. I'm going to kind of do that over here, because I'll probably cut it down to card size. And I'm trying to get this so that the edge of this lighthouse and the house there is kind of along this natural line there. So we'll see how that works. Again, I'm going to go back and forth a couple times because there's so many. Now this is thinner paper. Designer series paper is thinner paper. So, and I got too close to the edge. I don't know if you can see that. But look how beautiful that is. And you can do it the other way. You could do the opposite way. You could cut out on the actual, here, let me, oh, I have a piece over here. I don't even know what color this is. This might be a cranberry of sorts. Let's go ahead and do this. So it actually cuts out the circle and doesn't go off the edge. Now you can see how that looks. Get all the little holes out of there. We'll poke them out later with your pick tool, but you can see how that looks when you don't actually go off the edge of your paper. So, and here's the little house down here. Here's the little, lot of little extra pieces there. Okay, so that's that one. go ahead, get some of these scritchies out. To me, that's the best way to do it. I know it's loud, sorry. We have a couple little designer series paper that are still in there. There we go. All right, and the last one. Let me get these little scritchies of paper off. Thrown away over there. Last one is the sailboat. Oh, and that's the one I dropped on the floor. Hang on. Let me get it. So this one, let's go ahead and try it there. All right, let's bring that up. Now you can see how that works. Again, you could do it in a darker color and mount it on top of this designer series paper, but I just love getting, and I did get all those little pieces out. There's a few little pieces here. Oh no, they're not pieces, they're just stitchery. All right, now let's go into the actual stamp sets. Now that I have quite a mess over here, let me put my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine over there, put those on top of there. Try to be quiet as I put this back by my microphone. All right. And then here are your stamps. Just for sake of time, I'm going to do everything with Secret C. Just a little time saver. All right. First we're going to do is those clouds. So we have that stamps here. You know what, let me try using just the spot for now. And I'm usually a cut first then stamp, but this can go either way. Try not to get too inky. So there's the clouds on that die cutout. Then we have, remember I said these look like they're sailboats? Guess what? They have stamps that coordinate. Let me grab 2 of my retired A blocks. So yes, I usually stamp first, then die cut, but this just goes to show you that you can do either way. So there's that sailboat. Here comes this sailboat. I think I was a little off on that one. Yeah, I got a little low on that one. So let's go ahead. We'll bring those sailboats up to you and the clouds. Let's go ahead and grab that cave. Now this we're going to do two-step, I think. So let's go ahead and do this. Let me just grab anything from down here. Let's grab the pecan pie. But it looks like when I made my index sheet, I didn't clean any of these stamps off, which bad on me. So let's do pecan pie first. Hold it for a second since it's such a solid stamp. And then let's go over with the Rocky. And we'll do that in our Secret C. Starting on that sugar plum, or whatever it's called, wasn't the best idea. Usually it'd be better if you started off on a craft, the basic beige, your white, or your very vanilla. All right, so there you can see a little bit. All right, let's see, do we have any others? No, so let's go ahead. The rest of these, let me grab a piece of scratch card. I'm trying to think what I want to use. You know what? Maybe I'll just use what I have here, my crisp cantaloupe. All right, so here, now this, of course, you would do in a blue. Let's see if I have a darker blue in my little spots here. Here's Night of Navy, a good old favorite. So this is your water line. Oh, I did not stamp that well at all. Let me push a little at the bottom. Oh, still not very good. There you go. Because you have those little marks going in there. So that's the look of the water. Probably should have used my stamp positioner for that. All right. Then we have a little water. That doesn't fit inside of there. So we have another little water here. Don't worry, I'm not going to run out of blocks. I have lots of blocks. Probably more than I need. There we go. I really want to get this good for you guys so you can see it, because I still see there's parts that didn't stamp great. So let me go ahead. Let me put just a little bit of pressure on it. It's still in the middle. I'm gonna have to look at that. I don't think it's a defect. I think it's just me. Yeah, we'll see. Sometimes after you clean it and work with it for a bit. See, now that's getting better. All right, I just needed to work with it a little bit. So that's getting better. See how now we're getting that missing part in there. All right, I'll stamp with it quite a few times to season it, that way it doesn't feel like I'm letting you guys down. All right, here I'm just going to do this in the blue, but this is just your little sun. I didn't ink it up very good. Your little sun. Okay, then it looks like we have a bunch of words left. All right. right, I might have to go to my box of blocks. So I've already used the ones that sit out on my desk. So let me put my box of blocks over there. This is turning out to be quite the long video, isn't it? Now, none of these have dies that cut out the words, so you will have to fussy cut them or put them on a banner or some sort of cutout. So I was wishing you a lifetime of joy. This one is wherever this note finds you. You brightened my day. Oops, I didn't do the am very good. That's the one bad thing about using the spots, is that with a pad, everything gets covered. With a spot, you run the tendency that you could miss an area of your stamp. The adventure continues. I hope it finds you happy. So, like wishing you a lifetime of joy, I hope it finds you happy. Wherever this note finds you, I hope it finds you happy. These probably are the two. But you could use it with the adventure continues. I hope it finds you happy. I mean, that could work. Then we have a long one here. Will it fit? It will fit on this tinier one. Happy retirement. And the last two. I'm going to do that at the same time, just to save a little bit of time. And you always should let them lay down first. So this is congratulations and happy anniversary. That way they get their true form. As you put them on a block, you might have a tendency to curl them or not have them in a straight line. So sometimes it's good to lay them down first and get their natural shape and then go from there. All right, quite the mess we have here, but there's your stamps. Like I said, I am going to stamp quite a few times, but I can see now that it's starting to get there, because where it didn't stamp here, now it's starting to stamp here. So I think I had some maybe finishing left from the manufacturer on it, or when I laid it on the block, maybe the block wasn't clean and there was a little, goober under there, for lack of a better word. But there you are. There's your stamps, your dies. Some of them are over here. But that is your bundle. Again, it is called the Sunset Coast bundle. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Give me that thumbs up if you don't mind. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'm less than 10 to getting to 500. If you have a friend who likes doing more simplistic stamping, tell them about my channel. Have them subscribe to get some quick and easy ideas for making fabulous looking cards. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.